up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. We do have a lot of topics to discuss and also some hot ones as well. Firstly, Mateu Alemán is keeping a very big eye on the midfield options for Barcelona this summer. One of them, of course, being Bernardo Silva, who apparently is still the #1 priority for Barcelona this summer. Man City want to clarify his future in the next few weeks, whether or not he wants to renew his contract or leave again. Again, over the past 2 summers, he has requested to leave and join a Spanish club, i.e. Barcelona. So that development could be made into something possible. But also, Martin Zubimendi, who is the midfielder that Xavi is asking the board to start negotiations for and try and sign him for January immediately. Real Sociedad are in deep negotiation to renew his contract, of course, give him more money, give him more length in the deal, and also more importantly, increase his release clause. Xavi wants him to be signed as soon as possible, and Mateu Alemán will have to start negotiations very, very soon. And of course, there is the big dream this summer of possibly bringing back Lionel Andres Messi. Apparently, Messi does favor him move back to Barcelona rather than staying PSG, but of course, Champions League and World Cup will have a big factor. But also, apparently, Messi is asking for one of the captains to leave Barcelona if he wants him to come back, and that captain is Gerard Pique, who, funny enough, has been rumored to leave Barcelona this January to join one of our rivals, Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid needed center back reinforcement. They like Pique. They want to buy Pique from Barcelona in order to decrease the price for Antoine Griezmann, who of course Barcelona are negotiating with Atletico Madrid to reduce his loan buy price. And finally, if the injuries could not get any worse, they just did. We now have a big, massive injury blow from Hector Bellerin. We do have an injury update on Ronald Araujo and also Sergi Roberto as well. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 300 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. And the first players that we have been linked with are midfielders, but more specifically, midfielders from Manchester City. Now, firstly, Fabrizio Romano came out saying that Gundogan had the opportunity to join Barcelona last summer, but preferred to stay at Man City. Now, Man City want to extend Gundogan's contract after long interest from other clubs. He will make his decision around January, February time, and Barcelona could want him again this summer. Now, of course, this summer, Gundogan will be a free agent if, of course, he does not renew his contract. But it looks like the interest in Gundogan is falling through from the Barcelona perspective. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo came out saying that Ilkay Gundogan is no longer an option for Barcelona. His signing is unlikely in 2023. Despite him being one of the options last summer, the midfielder was seen as an alternate to Bernardo Silva if Frenkie de Jong would have left Barcelona last summer. So again, Frenkie de Jong left, we bring in Bernardo Silva. If we couldn't bring him in, we go for Gundogan. But now Gabriel Sanz is saying that Barcelona's priority for next summer coming up, so 2023, is signing Bernardo Silva again in the sense that he's the #1 target. So look, there's gonna be big question marks around that. Of course, there's a big debate about can Barcelona afford to bring in Bernardo Silva and also the return of Lionel Messi, which we will talk about later on in the video. But of course, Bernardo Silva, 1 year older, a bit cheaper, and there is some contract situation updates for him on the Man City point of view, and it's coming in from the Daily Mail. They've come out saying that Man City are planning talks with Bernardo Silva about his future after he expressed a desire to lead the club for Spain during the last 2 summers. City would not stand in his way if he still wanted to leave, and they expect to receive an offer of more than 90 million euros. Our transfer budget next summer is probably gonna be around 100. I can't see it being more without sales, because of course we spent a lot in the past summer. It's quite clear that the priority for Barcelona this upcoming summer is fullback. I think if we have, let's say for example, hypothetically, 100 million euro budget, I think probably 70, 80 of it, maybe even 60, we find someone good, will go towards a right back. Who's that gonna be? I don't know. We'll talk about that later on. Do we have the money for Bernardo next summer? I really don't think so, unless we can't find a right back whatsoever. We have the money. Okay, let's go improve another position. Okay. But then there's, of course, the Messi factor. I think if you ask any Barcelona fan, do you want Messi or Bernardo this summer? I think everyone's saying Messi. I think there probably a few that say Bernardo, saying that, oh, Messi left, let's move on, blah, blah, blah. But I think Messi deserves to come back, and I think him coming back is still... Messi at 38 is still a better player than Bernardo Silva will ever be in his life. There will always be another Bernardo Silva coming through. The next Portuguese midfielder will come through, or someone else that has the same profile as him, but there will never be another Messi. I cannot see Barcelona signing Bernardo Silva next summer. That's just my opinion as at this current moment. If we have another 200 million euro war chest, of course that opinion can change. But I think at the moment what we're hearing, our current midfield, I can't really see Bernardo Silva coming in unless maybe Dembele gets sold. If Dembele leaves, you can bring in Bernardo, have him play in the midfield and also on the right wing as well. That can be an option. So we'll wait and see with Bernardo. I think him being labeled as the #1 target for Barcelona again is not lazy journalism, but I think it's just lazy overall. I think that's just an easy name to go for. I can't really see him being the target. I know that Xavi's a fan, so is Joan Laporta. We have the connection, of course, with his agent Jorge Mendes as well. So wait and see on Bernardo, but definitely for sure, Gundogan's out of the question right now. Of course, he's in talks right now with Man City to renew his contract. If there's any Man City player that Barcelona is going to sign in the next, I'd say, one summer or two, it's going to be Bernardo Silva. The question really now is his signing feasible? Now, a midfielder who Xavi is actually confirmed now requesting the signing of with effect immediately. Xavi wants a player as soon as possible is Martin Zubimendi. Now, firstly coming in from Sport, they came out saying that Real Sociedad are speeding up negotiations with Martin Zubimendi to renew his contract until 2027. Of course, his current contract until 2025, so a 2-year renewal, increasing his salary to 2.5 million euros net, with Barcelona interested in the player. And Real Sociedad also want to increase his release clause from 60 to around 90 or 100, but the player is reluctant. But in recent days, it seems the position could have come closer and that an agreement could be imminent. Now, when Sport came out with this, TV3 came out retaliating, saying that after hearing the rumors about a possible renewal of Zubimendi at Real Sociedad, Xavi went to the board and requested that Barcelona's sporting department immediately begin negotiations for the player and try to speed up his signing. Now, again, if he renews, I still don't see it as a big stumbling block. Of course, 60 million euro release clause. If he renews, his value will probably be at 60, so we're gonna have to pay that. Of course, if we just were faster, we can pay that, not negotiate whatsoever. But I think right now, with the release clause set at 60, the club probably want to pay around 40. I'd say 45 with variables. Of course, I can't see the club matching the release clause or even paying above 50 as a fixed fee. I think it's still difficult. I think he's still a very important player for Real Sociedad. We still don't know whether or not Busquets is leaving or not. Because if Busquets is staying, then we have Busquets, Zubimendi, and then Nico coming back on loan. That's just too many. I think Zubimendi coming in as that Busquets replacement is important. If he does come in and Busquets stays, you probably have to loan out Nico again. You can't have all three. Look, I think Zubimendi is a great player. I think you could probably consider him right now a market opportunity, but I think this operation is going to be difficult. Real Sociedad always hold out for the right price. We saw Isaac go to Newcastle, even Griezmann went from Real Sociedad to Atletico Madrid. We've seen it on multiple occasions. They're very, very good at getting what they want. So we'll wait and see. Keep your eyes on it. But Xavi is requesting immediately negotiations to be sped up for the signing of Zubimendi. Now, I mentioned earlier how this summer, without a shadow of a doubt, the #1 priority for Barcelona to spend their transfer budget on is going to be fullbacks, more specifically right backs. And we have been linked with the right back, a new name over the past 24 hours, well, a new name that's actually concrete, and that is Diogo. Diogo Dalot. Samuel Luckhurst from the Manchester Evening News, the #1 source you could see around Manchester United, he's come out saying that Barcelona has been monitoring Diogo Dalot's performances. Barcelona aren't interested in the Portuguese fullback. Now, I think Dalot is a player that you bring in alongside someone else. If you want, let's say, for example, Roberto leaves, Bellerin leaves, because of course both their contracts expire in 2023. You want to bring in Dalot, someone else, let's say a Vanderson or, I don't know, Trent Hakim, something like that. I think he's that extra player to provide competition, good depth, but I don't really see him as that #1 starting right back at the moment. Of course, during the season, it could change. I'm hearing right now from my Man United fans saying that he's playing very well. He's doing well for Portugal as well. He's becoming almost a leader in the defense for Manchester United as well. That's what my friends are saying anyways. I'm take that with a pinch of salt, but we'll wait and see. Again, he does have, I believe, 1 year left on his contract this summer, but there is the option to extend it for Manchester United, so you could say his contract expires in 2024, not 2023, because they do have that option to trigger it without the player saying yes or no. So we'll wait and see on Dalot, but again, let me know in the comments below. Do you see him as a starting player? You see him more as a, competition, squad depth player? Let me know about that. But of course, alongside right backs, the club are also looking at some left backs as well, despite the fact we have 3 first-team left backs at the moment, and the name is, of course, Jose Gaya. Sport have come out saying that Barcelona are still keeping a close eye on Jose Gaya's situation. The player is negotiating his renewal with Valencia, but has not signed anything yet. Mateo Aleman is a massive fan of the player. Again, Gaya will be a free agent this summer, 2023. He can walk away, and in January, well, he can't negotiate with Barcelona. He can negotiate with any other team outside of Spain without the consent of course, Valencia. I think this would be probably the best market opportunity in the free agent category this summer. You have, of course, Gundogan, Tielemans, some other players I can't think of off the top of my head, Asensio, who we'll talk about in the next few seconds. But I think Gaya would be perfect if, of course, we can get rid of Jordi Alba. I think you cannot bring Gaya in and have Gaya, Jordi Alba, Alonso, and Alejandro Balde. That's just ridiculous. That's way too much. But I think Alonso will stay. I think Balde should stay. If you bring in Gaya and then maybe loan out Jordi Alba for his final year, or maybe he'll want to leave, terminate his contract, whatever that case may be, I think Gaya is the perfect replacement. I've been going on about him now on this channel for the past 2 years. I think he'd be great. Let's keep an eye on it. Again, you could say his negotiation with Valencia right now is still very advanced. We heard it was advanced back in March though. So from March until September, all we've been hearing is that the renewal is advanced, but nothing is signed on paper yet. So wait and see, but no doubt Barcelona are keeping a very close eye on Gaya's situation. Now, a player who has been linked with Barcelona a lot since the start of the international break has of course been Marcos Asensio, who will be a free agent this summer in 2023. And Gerard Pique came out saying that at the moment there is absolutely nothing between Barcelona and Marcos Asensio to discuss, terms, conditions, a possible free agent signing in 2023. Look, I think Asensio is... I'll admit he's on the list. It's quite clear that, the board see him as an option. Xavi, probably likes him because he's Spanish. But you have to first... One of the wingers currently have to leave, whether it's Varane on loan, Ansu Fati, Rafinha, Dembele. And of course, you have Messi ahead of him. So, I think Asensio coming in is so difficult. Again, he's a player we do not need currently unless Dembele gets sold, refuses to renew, and Messi refuses to come as well. So... I think his signing is very difficult. I think this is just Barcelona's name being used to stir up some interest, some drama. That's really how I see it. I can't really see Asensio coming in as well. It would be very weird for Joan Laporte to sign a Real Madrid player. I can't really see it happening. But there's a first time for everything. We'll wait and see. But I think right now there's absolutely nothing concrete. Of course, we are hearing right now in the media that, if Dembele leaves, Asensio is coming in 100%. But... Asensio's not even that good, man. The downgrade from Dembele to Asensio is freaking ridiculous. He doesn't come anywhere near Dembele, and that's why he's on the bench at Real Madrid, unhappy. We're really going to go out there and get Madrid's sloppy seconds, their bench players. I mean, at least go for Vinicius or someone decent. We're freaking going for Asensio. Anyways, we'll wait and see on Asensio, but at the moment, clearly nothing really concrete. Now, the forward that Barcelona do want to sign ahead of Marcos Asensio is, without a shadow of a doubt, the greatest human being to ever touch a football, Lionel Messi. Now, there's this report coming in. I think it's from a television show in Barcelona in Catalonia. The reporter, I've looked into him, again, another medium journalist. Sometimes great, sometimes poor. He's hit and miss. So take this with a grain of salt, but I've saw this, I think it's interesting, so let's take a look at it. He came out saying that Leo Messi is clear that he does not want to stay at PSG next season. This will be his last season at the French club. However, the Argentine isn't returning to Barcelona if Pique doesn't leave. Now, I know Pique and Messi are not on the greatest of terms, but bloody hell. I remember when we were linked with Romero, the Argentine center back, not last summer, the summer before that, when he was at Atlanta before he went to Spurs. Apparently, Messi told the board, "Oh, Romero's an excellent center back. You have to sign him. If you don't sign him, I'm not going to renew my contract, blah, blah, blah." And then Messi did that interview saying that he was going to stay at the club. He said, I have never in my Barcelona career, since I joined at 13 at La Masia until I left, have I ever recommended a player to the club. Maybe they asked me about a player and I said, yeah, he's good, well, whatever, but never I told them to sign someone. So I don't think this really doesn't scream Messi to me. Although, you know, he has been you know, quite ruthless recently, you know, making demands and stuff like that. But I cannot see Messi saying this. But, you know, first time for everything, you never know. But if it's the case that Pique has to leave for Messi to come in, sayonara, Jerry, great, absolute legend, but adios, amigo. So again, with Jerry, we'll wait and see. We do have a big story about him in the departure section. And also on Messi's return, the vice president of the economic sector at the club, Eduard Romeu, was doing an interview with Mundo Deportivo, and he was asked about the possible return of Messi, and he replied by saying that since this would be a free transfer, surely yes, it is possible, but again, it will be a technical decision from Xavi, Jordi Cruyff, Rafael Uste, Mateo Alemán, Joan Laporta. It is a sporting decision. There is, of course, salary margin. We made an effort this summer, and if anything is needed in January, we will analyze it as well. So the guy who keeps track of all the numbers saying, look, numbers wise, we can sign Messi. He's coming in for free, although salary margin could be, you know, negotiated, stuff like that. Him coming for free makes it possible. So that's confirmed. He also talked about, you know, the numbers are going to be healthy. Barcelona's going to be healthy financially in 2024, 2025. Of course, after the Espai Barca project will be completed. So he's talked about that stuff too. But on this, saying that, look, financially speaking, Messi signing is possible, but it will be the decision based on what Xavi wants, Jordi Cruyff, Mateo Alemán, blah, blah, blah. So we'll wait and see on Leo. I think, again, we won't hear January window about Messi is going to be mad. Just prepare yourself for that. Take the light stories I'm telling you guys right now. When we hit January, it's going to be disgusting. Especially, I think, if Messi wins the World Cup. So, not Messi, Argentina, but I mean, like, him winning it. So, wait and see on Leo. Again, I don't see it as clear. I would probably put, like, you know, a percentage. I would say right now 25%. I think if PSG win the Champions League, it will make it very difficult. I think Messi probably want to stay for one more year, try to retain it, and then maybe come to Barcelona. But a lot of if, buts, and maybes. We'll wait and see. After the World Cup, these Messi rumors and stories are going to be crazy. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 24 hours. First up is the man himself again, we just mentioned, Gerard Pique. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a BS story or not. I feel like it is, but I just find it so interesting, but also so hilarious at the same time. I want to share it, give you guys my hypothetical opinion, because I think this story is not true. There are reports coming out in the media saying that Atletico Madrid, I mean, what is them with signing like 35-year-olds, are interested in signing Gerard Pique in the upcoming January transfer window. Atletico Madrid want to sign Pique in January, not only to reinforce their squad, but also reduce the price for Antoine Griezmann. As we all know, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid are in negotiation for Antoine Griezmann's price to reduce it from the current 40 million euro buy option. Both clubs want that completed before they face up against each other on January the 7th or 6th or whatever it is, the first weekend of La Liga in January. I mean, if this is true, I would say yes. I'm being completely honest here. If Pique comes to me and says, look, I want to go to Atletico Madrid, adios. You can go. You've done enough for this club. To be honest, the backlash here has been ridiculous. Although Pique wouldn't get a send-off that he deserves. If you leave in January, you can't just come to the Camp Nou and then go to our rivals, one of our rivals in Atletico Madrid. But it is a bit weird that Atletico always go for old players and veterans, especially from Barcelona, like David Villa, Pique, Suarez, or if they go for Pique, obviously. I think this is BS. I don't think this is true whatsoever, but I think it's kind of interesting. Now, also on the Antoine Griezmann case, we do have an update coming in from Marca, and they came out saying that Antoine Griezmann reduced his salary from 16 million euros per year to 12 million when he initially rejoined Atletico Madrid. He then took another wage cut from 12 million to 6 million, so 50% wage cut, and now he's being asked to lower it again to 4 million, so the continuation can be more viable for the club. So Griezmann went from earning 16 million net to now being asked to earn 4 in the space of a year. I mean, this shows some love for a club. Like, we're asking Pique and Busquets to take like what, just a 30% wage cut. We've asked Frenkie de Jong to take a 30%. This man is being asked to take almost a 70% wage cut, which, to be honest, he is on a ridiculous amount of money that he does not deserve whatsoever. Well, he's not worth. Don't say not deserve. He's not worth whatsoever. But not my problem, because you know what? I thought I would just have to pay him. He's still on loan, so I don't really care. I just thought it would be interesting to share. But you know, let's wait and see. Again, I would expect the Griezmann case to intensify, I think, near the end of the World Cup. If France get knocked out earlier, hopefully that will be intensified a bit more. Again, it being done before January the 7th, before we face Atletico Madrid. I think it's at the Camp Nou. I think it won't happen. I bet a lot of money, actually, that it won't happen. I think probably typical Barcelona fashion, last day of the window, we say, alright, Atletico will take 20 million right now, take it or leave it, you got 5 seconds left, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they take it after. So, wait and see with these Pique, Griezmann rumors, but I think Pique is going to stay at Barcelona. I think he will retire at Barcelona, whether it's this summer when if he terminates his contract, or he chooses to retire, or next summer when he chooses to retire or his contract expires. I think Pique will end his career at Barcelona. Now, on the topic of salary reduction, of course, the main salary reduction at Barcelona that they're currently working on is the reduction of the wages of Frenkie de Jong. And AS have come out saying that Barcelona and Frenkie de Jong have moved closer to laying out the foundations for a negotiation that should end up in an agreement according to which the player will lower his salary. I think right now it is quite clear, you can confirm that Frenkie de Jong and Laporta have agreed to negotiate, not agreed to actually do it or not to speak on it whatsoever. They have agreed to negotiate on a reduction post, of course, summertime, which of course is now happening at the moment. I still don't think this is gonna happen. I think from now until Frenkie de Jong does something, he'll be rumored to do a salary reduction or leave the club. I think January come up, you'll hear Man United, you'll hear Chelsea, maybe you'll hear another team, I don't know, Man City, something like that. I think nothing will be clear until something is official. This for me is just more noise during the international break. We're hearing no other confirmation from any other source. And I think you cannot just, you've been doing, 3 months of negotiation with him over salary reduction, and now it's going to be resolved in 2 weeks. It doesn't really make sense to me. So, wait and see on Frenkie. I hope he does reduce his salary. I think he should. He's not worth 400,000 euros per week, especially as a probably, bench starting player rotation, in and out. I would say from 400,000, he should go down to 200,000. Maybe you can negotiate 300,000 with bonuses. Oh, if you do play, we'll give you this, that, and the other. So, wait and see on Frenkie, but I think it's not as easy or as clear as AS currently are reporting. It's not going to be that simple. I know Frenkie de Jong is not stubborn, but he's very firm on his decision and his stance right now in the situation. But of course, anything in life is open to negotiation. I think Ronald Araujo will make it his task to reduce Frenkie de Jong's salary before the January transfer window. Let's now discuss some player welfare news surrounding Barcelona over the past 24 hours. Just one update, and again, it is on Ansu Fati. Mundo Deportivo reporting that Xavi told Ansu Fati to be patient and that everything will come in its time. The player is frustrated because he missed out on the list for the Spanish national team, but Xavi insists that he's only 19 years old and he has his whole career ahead of him. I think Luis Enrique was asked about this after they beat Portugal in a press conference, said that, look, I cannot pick players who are not playing for their club. So that's clearly a message to Ansu Fati. He needs to play regularly in order to be in that squad for the World Cup. To be honest, I think if Ansu Fati plays a decent amount of minutes, he'll get called up, because Spain up front are looking desperate. They got Morata, Iglesias, Yeremy Pino, Nico Williams, who is decent but still very, 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 very young. Ferran Torres. It's the strike force that together doesn't really work compatibly together, and I think Ansu Fati is the glue to bring that forward line for Spain, make it better, make it stronger, and make it look scary as well. So again, I cannot stress enough how big of a month this is for Ansu Fati. If he does not start this weekend against Mallorca, I would be shocked. I think if he does not start, it's bad news. I mean, you have 2 weeks off, you're training, you're talking to Xavi every single day, you have a physiotherapist, you have a psychologist, all this stuff, and you can't start against Real Mallorca. Wait and see, but again, absolutely huge month coming up for Ansu Fati. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 24 hours. Firstly, an update on Espai Barca. It's been a while now. There are reports coming in saying that Barcelona will ask La Liga to have their first 4 to 5 games of the 2024-25 season, so not this season, of course, not next season, but the season after that, to be played away from home, to have the Camp Nou ready to receive the public. next season, the 2023-24, of course, we're playing at the Olympic Mojica Stadium, which will receive around 45,000 fans per game, and the rest will be sold to the public. Now, the reason why I bring this up is, of course, Real Madrid over the past 2 seasons have done this. They've had their first 4 or 5 league games away from home. We saw it this year, I think it was 4. Year before, I think it was 5 as well. So now Barcelona will ask for the same thing, and I think La Liga will approve it. Now, for me, this is the big question why I'm bringing this up. Will this hinder Barcelona's chances in La Liga? Because, of course, 5 away games, you don't know what it is. It could be, you know, I don't know, Girona or something like that. Some, you know, Mallorca or Cadiz. But then it could be, you know, a Bilbao, a Villarreal, a Betis. So, I think 5 games on the trot, first 5 games all away, is very difficult, but of course you want to wait for your stadium, you want to play with your fans, so it's understandable. And the problem is it'll all be back to back. When we make up those away games to home games, they won't give us 4 home games in a row. They'll probably give us 2, maybe 3. They will not give us 4 or 5 home games. That's just way too OP, as OP is playing away from home being so difficult. So wait and see. We'll wait for more further confirmation, but I think again, if Barcelona do ask for this, they will get approved by La Liga. Now, the final topic that I wanted to discuss before I end off this video is give you guys some injury updates surrounding Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First one being on Araujo. He went to Finland, he had a surgery, and it was successful. The club confirmed this, and they also said that now he is officially out, and his recovery will determine his availability. Now, we are hearing, of course, he'll be out for around 2 to 3 months. He will not play for Barcelona again this year. We'll see him back again in 2023. But there is a lot of optimism from the Uruguayan press, thinking, I don't know how, that he can make the World Cup. There are reports coming out saying that Araujo could return in a month and a half or 2 months. It all depends on the type of surgery and how he undergoes it and how he recovers, all that sort of stuff. Uruguay, the official FA of Uruguay, have not ruled him out for the upcoming World Cup. And also the Uruguay manager was asked about Araujo, and he came out saying that I told Araujo that we will wait for him until the end. We still believe that there is a chance for him to play at the World Cup. We'll see how he recovers. Hopefully, he will make it in time. Now, I saw this report from Sports saying that an Elche player last season, I think he was the captain, had the exact same injury as Araujo and did the exact same surgery. And he recovered fully in a month and a half. Now, I'm saying this right now. If Araujo somehow makes it and recovers before the World Cup starts, he still shouldn't be going. I mean, come on, that is freaking ridiculous. You have surgery, you recover fully, and you're straight back in there in the biggest tournament in the world. It's ridiculous in my opinion. I don't think he'll make it, but there is a chance. There is. And I think him joining, for me, it's either you join Uruguay at the beginning or you don't join at all. What's the point of joining in like round 16? You'll go there, be on the bench for a game, then you get knocked out, something like that. It's a waste of time. I think if he makes it, I think if he doesn't make it past the first game for Uruguay, he won't go at all. But the reality is, there is a bit of a chance. Now, if you thought that Barcelona's injury crisis couldn't get any worse, well, you're in for a big one on this one. We have an injury update on Hector Bellerin. When I saw this, I could not believe my eyes. So, Tuesday morning, you get a notification from Barcelona saying that official Hector Bellerin has noticed some discomfort in his soles of his left leg during today's training. More tests will be carried out tomorrow, i.e. yesterday, to find out the exact extent of his discomfort. So when I saw this, I'm thinking, you've got to be shitting me. I mean, what is going on? Everyone's just dropping like flies. Now, at the time, the reports were saying that, oh, he'll maybe be out for the Mallorca match and that's it. He'll be out for 1 week maximum, blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking, okay, 1 game, I can hold that. Not a big deal. Yesterday comes out. He, of course, does his test, does examination. The club's official statement saying that test carried out this morning, of course, yesterday morning, confirmed that Hector Bellerin has a left sole injury. He's out, and his recovery will determine his availability. So again, very similar statements. They're saying, oh, look, he had a sole injury. Oh, sole injury now confirmed. So I'm thinking, okay, still 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever, it's okay. He's out for a month. I'm like, what? We went from 1 week to a month? We have no right back. Araujo plays right back, out. Koundé, who can play right back, out. Bellerin plays right back, out. Our only saving grace now is bloody Sergi Roberto. I mean, this is the problem. This is what I hate about being a Barcelona fan. When one thing goes bad, it's rolling effect. Everything just collapses at once. You know, you win the treble in 2014. Oh, no, next 10 years freaking miserable. One player gets injured. Oh, no, there you go. Memphis, De Jong, Kunde, Araujo, Bellerin. It's just all tumbling around. I cannot believe it. The reports are saying that he could make the last game or two before the World Cup. I mean, just freaking leave him. Don't even play him. I wouldn't even play him until that last game of the year on the 31st against whoever it is. I forget. I mean, don't even bother. If he makes it, whatever. Don't rush him back whatsoever. There's really no point at this point. We're already screwed. A month with only run right back, and that being Roberto. Say your prayers now. Now you're probably thinking, wait, Roberto is still injured. He's had discomfort. He's not received any medical green light from Barcelona. Well, we do have an update on the Roberto injury. Miguel from AES has come out saying that Sergi Roberto will be in the squad list to face Real Mallorca. He has practically recovered from his Achilles tendon injury, and he will get the green light in the very last second before the squad list. Now, I think Edu Polo from Deportivo came out saying that look, Roberto is still not clear. He could make the squad list, he could not. We'll have to wait and see. It's still very unpredictable. Today, after training session, we should get a better understanding. Now, whether he's gonna make the squad list or not, he's not gonna start. If Roberto 100% fully fit, ready to go, Xavi ain't starting him. The man has not played in weeks. You cannot just chuck him in. Although, if you want to chuck him into a game, it's against Real Mallorca. But let's be real, you want to keep him safe. We have a big month coming up. Bayern Munich doubleheader against Inter, Clásico Villarreal for the club. And gonna risk our only right back against Mallorca, right? So you're probably thinking, oh, bloody hell, who's playing right back against Mallorca? There are some league team news about what Xavi will do with the right back situation. Now, Mundo Deportivo came out saying that with Bellerin injured and Roberto, of course, not fully fit, Xavi could switch to a 3-4-3 system in the next match against Mallorca, with the three center backs being Kunde, Christensen, and Marcos Alonso. Now, I'll say this right now. We're definitely playing with two left backs at some point. Against Mallorca, two left backs are playing. The question really is where. One, of course, will be at left back or left wing back. The other one will be at right back, left center back, whatever the case may be. We're probably looking at Marcos Alonso and Alejandro Balde starting at the moment. Of course, Jordi Alba could force his way. If we're playing a wing back role, I think Jordi Alba is probably the best out of the three, although Alonso is still fairly decent. He's played there left wing back in basically his whole career. Imagine playing a back three with Alonso as your center back. I mean, I think Alonso can do a job in a back three. I think in a back two, you're thinking, God help us. But there are some other options, of course, in Barcelona B. Alberto Rojo came out saying that Xavi has only Sergio Roberto available for the right back position. The coach has the alternate option of calling up Barcelona B right back Alvaro Nunez and Marc Casado, the pivot who already played at right back with Barcelona in preseason. So I believe Alvaro Nunez is actually a right back, but Marc Casado is a midfielder playing at right back, Roberto 2.0, but he actually already played right back under Xavi in preseason. So keep out an eye on those names. They'll definitely get called up, I think, in the first two games. I think when we play Mallorca and Inter, I think they're probably, at least one of them will be in both squad lists for sure. If they get their opportunity and they perform well, brilliant. So that's the whole point of Barcelona. That's the whole point of La Masia. When there's opportunities in the team, you go out there, you put your heart, sweat, and soul into that performance. So we'll wait and see, but definitely without Xavi Dalot, currently the biggest dilemma for Xavi this weekend against Mallorca is what he's going to do in the right back position. Play an actual natural right back, a Barcelona B player, or risk Roberto, or change formation. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing, of course, I want to know firstly your thoughts on Zubimendi and Bernardo Silva coming to Barcelona and their chance of actually joining the Blaugrana this up and coming summer. Secondly, on the Messi Pique case, if you had to sacrifice Pique to bring back Messi, would you or not? If you had to choose between Messi and Bernardo signing this summer, who would you choose? And you think Messi's signing is actually realistic, viable, and possible this summer? And finally, your thoughts on the right back situation at Barcelona. Of course, Bellerin is out. Roberto's still a doubt. What would you do? Change formation, risk Roberto, or trust one of the Barcelona Athletic players? And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.
Yeah.